Welcome everyone. I'm Amy. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner and I'm also an NPC bikini competitor. And this is my week 11 reverse vlog. Super excited. It is the week before Christmas. It's kind of our last really busy week of work before we break for the holiday. Christmas this year is on a Wednesday, which kind of messes up the whole week. My assistant and I were talking, it'll be, the next 2 years will be nice because we'll get a Thursday and a Friday and then a Saturday, but man, then that Sunday Christmas kind of is not so much fun either because that kind of messes up the whole following week. Well, is what it is. My theory, and this would be my platform if I was to run for political office, would be that Christmas should just always be on Thursday, just like Thanksgiving. Can we all just agree with that? And that the day after the Super Bowl, either the Super Bowl needs to be on Saturday or the day after the Super Bowl should also be a holiday, coming from an NFL fan. Oh, which also, there's finally football on Saturdays this week, but it also means that the regular season is coming to a close. So these are my initial thoughts. Christmas on a Thursday, day after the Super Bowl is a holiday, and I'm sad about the NFL season being close to being over. So let's get into this week's check-in. So here are my photos and also a quick posing video from the week. I mentioned last week, because there was no video, that I would talk about that, and then I didn't. I realized that. So I've been feeling just kind of like I lost my swagger. My posing's just been feeling a little bit off and a little bit awkward, and I need to just kind of get back in the groove. And I really do feel like with all things in competing, your off season is really where you're making improvements, or your improvement season. And that needs to go for my posing as well. That is something that I really feel like held me back this past season, was my stage presence was just not great. And that's just kind of me. I tend to be a little, I smile on stage and, I really do have a good time, but it goes so fast. And I think a lot of times my presentation on stage comes off as a little bit wooden and not super flowy. And these are things I need to continue to work on. And that's a reason why I need to continue with body work in the off season, and also doing things like working on my mobility and doing more yoga, now that I have a little bit more time and a little bit more recovery. So posing is something that I have not prioritized the last couple of weeks, and I really need to get back to that. Something that I think is helpful is reminding myself that I don't have to be in a bikini to pose. I can pose like I am in the video. I posed in leggings. It's nice to be able to see your contours and see your muscle, but I think it will help me too to not be so focused on seeing that, and getting disappointed when I'm, not looking as good in my posing suit as I did when I was super stage lean, or not seeing the deep cuts in my legs, and, maybe leaving leggings on or posing in, shorts or leggings and just my top, might help me be more motivated to continue posing and seeing it more as practice rather than critiquing myself the entire time. So these are some of my goals moving forward into the week. I think just to kind of break it up and not make my intro so super long, I'm going to talk about what I sent Aaron this week on my check-in, and then talk about his feedback to me in the outro, just to kind of break it up a little bit. And there'll be timestamps below, so if you only want to hear one thing or another, just skip around. It's totally fine. I would love it if you stay for the whole video, but I get it. If you only want to hear about something and not something else, that's all right with me. There is going to be a Target haul in this video. I had some great coupons. Target's running some cool holiday specials, and I had some really cool coupons that I was able to use, so I did go to Target and got some good stuff this week, so you'll see that. And yes, I did buy more from Redcon 1. I could not resist the sale. So I got 4 more tubs of protein powder, all that same Junior's cheesecake. So I got 2 more of the chocolate peanut butter and 2 more of the raspberry. I also got a container of their product called Fade Out, which is their sleep product. It has melatonin in it, which melatonin can actually be kind of beneficial in some ways, but I don't want to become dependent on it. I don't need help falling asleep, but I have been in general just kind of wanting to make the quality of my sleep a lot better. And you'll see I talk about that in my check-in with Aaron. So I'd never tried their product before, and it was also one of the things that was on it was 70% off. It was on such a good sale. I got the black currant flavor. When I opened up the container and smelled it, I was like, ooh, this smells terrible, but it tastes really good. So don't be afraid if you buy it and it doesn't smell great when you open it, it tastes delicious. I like black currant. I think they also have grape. but I went with the black currant and it was super tasty. So I tried it last night for the first time and I got really good quality sleep, which was great. I slept a little over 7 hours, which for me right now is actually pretty good. So far, so good on the Fade Out product. So if you do want to try any of the Red Cotton One products, again, I am not sponsored. I do have a link. It doesn't give me anything, but you do save 20%. So it's on the screen, or has been on the screen, or will be on the screen, and it's also in the description box. So without further ado, let's talk about my check-in this week with Erin. So the check-in form, we kind of went through it last week. He asks a lot of questions. I'll kind of just bring up the things that I gave feedback on, because a lot of things there was just nothing to discuss, like digestive issues, none. How do you feel overall well-being? I said getting much better and overall feeling good. The early morning walks have been good, very cold most mornings, but a good head clearing start to the day. I've not had a drop in my fasted blood sugar readings post-walk, but I am enjoying the walking. My L-theanine arrived yesterday, so today was my first day taking it. All good. I was going to write all good in the hood, but I wasn't sure if Erin would get that reference, so I did not. I kept that one to myself. So I think I mentioned in my last video, we've been kind of, he and I have been talking a lot about, I've been waking up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, regardless of what time I go to bed. So he wanted me to get up and go for a walk early. And I will say that I felt a little bit resistant to that suggestion just because it is December and it's been, in the 20s early in the morning. But I used to walk to and from the gym in the dark every morning. So I was like, what is wrong with you? Like, just get up and walk. And it's pretty easy. I just throw my contact lenses in and bundle up and just head out the door. I mean, it's dark. I see some people walking their dogs sometimes, but most of the time I don't see anybody at all. So it's not like I have to like look presentable. I'm literally out there in sweatpants and, all my winter clothes. So it's been nice. I just, get like 15 minutes in and then I come back upstairs and kind of do the rest of my morning stuff. So that's been good. And a nice addition. I won't say it's been like life-changing at this point, but it's also very nice. And it helps me get my steps in. Next question on the form is, how is recovery? I said it's deload week number 4, also asking about like what week you're on in your training cycle. I said tiny bit of soreness in my lats this week after making the form changes to my rows, which was weird. I was reaching up in cupboard up high and I'm like, did I pull something? I'm like, I'm sore. And I'm like, oh yeah, like you did lats this morning and the cueing that he had given me about the plane of movement, about my elbow placement. I mean, even just like that one little change, like I was actually sore. It was great just for a day. So I said, so only lasted for a day. Other than that, no soreness. I'm feeling recovered and ready to roll with my first true week of the mesocycle. And I am. Any exercises I'm having issues with? I said none. I'm really loving the workout programming. Every workout feels so intentional and focusing on rep speed and intensity is becoming much more intuitive with each session. It's a lot of counting because each exercise that Aaron programs, he gives me like a rep range, like, how many reps total I'm doing, but also a rep speed. So your concentric and eccentric motions, how long to hold at the top of the movement, how long, if there's a pause at the bottom, those kinds of things. So learning how to kind of count that in my head as I do my reps takes a little bit more focus, but it is becoming a lot more intuitive. And I really do love the programming, like saying it feels like intentional is probably the best way to describe it. At first, when I looked at it, one of the questions last week from someone who watches asked like what my split was. And like when I look at it, like it's basically a very heavy lower focus, which is where I need to make improvements. But because it's like you kind of have it's like one big movement and then like a little bit of accessory work each workout. So I'm able to really give that, like we'll call it the big lift, a lot of intention because it's not like just tons and tons of repetitions. Like it's one top set and as many warm-up sets as I feel like I need, or tester sets, or whatever you want to call them. So I feel like I'm able just to give so much intention to each exercise, and I'm really loving that. Like it feels really good, and I'm feeling really recovered, and I really, really love it. So that was good. Anything else you should know? I told him I have not had an off plan or a free meal in quite some time. And I would like to take my staff out for a meal in the next week or so for, Christmas, New Year's, that kind of thing. So would it be okay to have an off-plan meal, likely just sushi or a Brazilian steakhouse? Asked for my weight, blood pressure, water, how I rated myself on sticking to the diet, quality of sleep. I put quality of sleep as a 7 because my sleep was okay. I had one really rough night of sleep, but the rest of it, like I sleep well. Recovery, I gave a 10. I'm feeling super recovered. My energy, I would say, has been an 8. It's been pretty good. Digestion's been a 10. Stress, like a 6, maybe a little higher than normal just because there's a lot going on with the holidays, but just normal. Like I'm not like under extreme amounts of stress, just kind of normal stress. Appetite, I would say, is like a 5 to 6 on a scale of 10. My glucose reading, my steps, not including cardio, any supplement notes or side effects or anything there, sleep routine, personal goals for the week, and says, be honest, areas you could do better in. So I gave 4, just things that came to mind. Clean up my closet. It's a disaster and I've been avoiding it. I have a closet that I just really need to clean out. As I said, I've been avoiding it and it's a disaster. So that is something that is a goal for next week. Number 2, I put improve my focus and intention with my staff. That's something that really for me, and I'll talk more about that in my video next week when I kind of talk about the new year and like goal setting and that kind of thing. But that really is that's my primary goal and focus for 2025, is just being more intentional and focused and connected with everyone around me, but especially with my staff. Or my coworkers, I should say, my coworkers. Timing my meals on busy work days was my number 3, just because that can sometimes become, the days just kind of like fly by and like all of a sudden I'm like, oh shoot, you know, now it's 2 o'clock and I didn't eat lunch and now I'm like cramming all my meals in at the end of the day, and that doesn't feel good on my system, and I don't like doing that, but it's sometimes the day just gets away from me. So it's not that I haven't planned, I have all my meals with me, it's just actually eating them is the problem. And number 4, better sleep. I just put sleep in all capitals. Better this week. I woke up to my alarm twice, but still lots of room for improvement. So, which was actually really good. Like I was shocked to have 2 days out of 7 that I woke up to my alarm was really surprising. So that was good. That's progress. 2 days I did not wake up at 3 a.m. Well, I woke up at 3 a.m. but went back to sleep. So that's good too. He said, anything else I should know about training? I said, I'm ready to start pushing it. Joint pain, sleep score, heart rate, and then my pictures. So that was what I sent to Aaron. And then, like I said, in the outro, I'll talk about what his feedback to me was. I really like my new check-in schedule too. With my previous coach, I was checking in on Mondays, which kind of made it tough because if he made any changes, then I was kind of scrambling like during the week after, you know, it was hard to meal prep as much. With Aaron, I've been checking in on Thursdays, and because of the day difference, you know, he's in Thailand, so it's Thursday for me, but it's Friday for him. So like I get my feedback Friday, which is actually great because then any changes, anything I need to plan for the week, I have the whole weekend to plan for it and to get ready for it, which has been fantastic. And you'll see why that's really important when we talk about my feedback in the outro. So all good stuff this week. I did a little bit of posing. I got some goals for the week. I know what you're all thinking. Why didn't I put posing as one of my goals? I will. That'll be on my next week check-in to pose more. And yeah, that's it. So enjoy the Target haul. Target haul is next, and then there'll be the outro. In my next week video, I was gonna do it in this video, but I wanna wait till next week. I'm gonna do a video showing what I got for my coworkers for Christmas because I got them some really fun stuff. And because this video comes out right before Christmas, we actually aren't doing our gift exchange until after, so I don't wanna spoil it for them. So that'll be in next week's video. So something to look forward to for next week. You'll be all over Christmas at that point, but stay tuned, that's what's to come. So Target and the outro, I will see you all back here very shortly. All right, so this is my Target haul for the week. I had a really awesome coupon from Target. If you don't use their app and you shop at Target, I highly recommend it. If you're part of the Circle Club, I had a coupon for $10 off a $40 grocery purchase. So don't threaten me with a good time. I decided to do some shopping at Target this week. I got some really great stuff. Again, mostly grocery items, and then this fun bonus item off to the side. So let's start with the frozen stuff. I got a bag of the butternut squash. This is just butternut squash. That is the only ingredient in this is butternut squash. It's nice because it's already cut up. I don't know if you've ever tried to tackle food prepping a butternut squash. It is a hassle, so these are really nice to have on hand. And the macros are really good. So per serving, there's 12 grams of carbs, 1 gram of fiber, 1 gram of protein, but not eating butternut squash for the protein. Also got a bag of broccoli florets. This is not a great deal, but again, because I had the coupon, I was just picking up some fun stuff. And then 2 bags of the roasted sweet potatoes. These are just sweet potatoes, so there's nothing else in these, even though they are roasted, and that's definitely something to check because a lot of times if you get like the roasted or flavored vegetables in the frozen section, they add oil, they add a ton of seasoning, but these, the ingredients are just roasted sweet potatoes. There's no added fat, there's no added anything. So 2 bags of those. I actually do prefer the frozen sweet potatoes from Walmart. They are non-roasted, but again, I was shopping at Target this week, so got what they had. Got a bag of carrots and 2 cucumbers. I also got a bag of jasmine rice, just the Good and Gather brand. And I picked up a bag of the Dunkin' Donuts I guess it's just Dunkin' now, hazelnut coffee. This is caffeinated, and you guys know that I love decaf, but occasionally I like adding just like a third of my coffee as a caffeine coffee, just to get a little bit of a tiny little bit of caffeine. So I use that just to kind of top off my decaf. Got a container of oats and a can of pumpkin. Also a little jar of the banana peppers that I love so much, just the sliced banana peppers, and a jar of little baby pickles, the kosher dill snack pickles. Got a bunch of yogurt and a bunch of cottage cheese. I got 4 of the Good Culture, just plain low-fat cottage cheese. These have incredible macros. So per cup, they are 120 calories, have 2 grams of fat, 1 gram of carbs, I think. Nope, 3. Sorry, this is tiny and I'm standing far away, but they have 19 grams of protein. So this is an amazing thing to bring for a quick lunch. It's really quick and easy to eat. If you tolerate dairy, Good Culture is my favorite brand of cottage cheese. There's no additives. They don't use thickening gums or fillers. It's just truly delicious. And I love the pineapple. This is, I know, probably like a super divisive thing if people like having fruit with their cottage cheese. I do. The pineapple is really good. And again, the macro is really good. This little container is 100 calories, has 3 grams of fat, 4 grams of carbs, and 15 grams of protein. So a little less protein and a little more carbs because there's, pineapple, there's fruit. And then I just got a container of the non-fat plain Greek yogurt, which is the Good and Gather brand. So that was all the food items I got. And because I saved so much money, I spent more money on this really pretty sweater. So they had all of their sweaters 30% off. And it was the last day of the 30% off. So I got this beautiful kind of eyelet, periwinkle kind of baby blue. It's so soft. I'll have to wear a cami underneath it, obviously, because it's see-through, but it was just so beautiful and I couldn't pass it up. So since it is winter, the cold season is here, and that might be nice to take to the Arnold with me in a few weeks since it's gonna be cold in Columbus. I mean, not that that sweater's gonna be all that warm because it is full of holes, but it's pretty and it'll look cute with jeans. So that is what I got at Target. And we're back. I hope you like the Target haul. The Target, I've mentioned before that the Target, and I don't remember if I mentioned in the video or not, but the Target near me is really busy all the time. But I went right after a workout one morning. It was pretty early, and I actually got in and out in like a hurry. It was like one of the easiest Target shopping trips ever, and I had those amazing coupons. So it was a quick trip, which was great, and it was also a financially responsible trip as well. So it was good. Oh, that sweater is so pretty. Right? I haven't worn it yet. It's beautiful. I'm planning on taking it with me to the Arnold. So, all right, let's talk about my feedback from Aaron. So as I mentioned, he sends feedback via video, which is really, really cool. So there's nothing to like read from, but I'll kind of just recap some of the highlights of it. The really first exciting thing is going over my training again. So he did ask for me to continue to send at least a couple of videos a week, which I will absolutely do. And I'll actually play some of those clips of the videos here. Just the exercises that I feel like I might need some improvement on, or that are new or different, or that I'm struggling with. I just picked a few today that he had given me cues on, or that I hadn't sent him yet. So the reverse lunges are still a really big challenge to my balance, but I'm getting a lot better at them. He does program them in as a Smith machine reverse lunge, which would make it so much easier because then you're holding onto the bar. So the balance is not an issue in that sense. So it's just going to be a little bit different if you can hold onto the bar. I am nowhere near coordinated enough and or strong enough to do it with the Olympic bar at my gym. So I've just been holding a dumbbell and just really focusing on that range of motion and really trying to isolate the movement and slow it down without the assistance of the Smith machine. So those have been really great. And then also a commenter asked me what I do for my bicep routine, and I said it's kind of boring. All I'm doing right now is 2 times a week, I do incline dumbbell curls. A lot of bicep movement or bicep work, it kind of is like accessory work that you get on other things, like your pull downs and your rows. So I only do one isolation bicep exercise during the week. But man, an incline, if you have never done an incline dumbbell curl, it allows you to have such an extreme range of motion on the bicep. And I go pretty light on them and just really focus on like slowing down the movement and that contraction. And you get a really good contraction with those. I love it. You can't even see my biceps right now, but They're there. Not very impressive in a shirt, but they are there. So I sent him that one. I also sent him my lateral raises. He had given me some cues to keep my arms straighter and also extend my range of motion. So rather than stopping at, like a straight out, to kind of go up more to like improve that range of motion. And yeah, that adds some nice extra burn. So that was really good. And also sent my AD or abduction adductors, because he'd also given me a great cue to kind of start off my abduction leaning slightly forward, but as I come to the top, kind of allow my body to come up and really squeeze at the top. And I love that. Like, it's been really, really good. So those are the exercises that I will send him for my check-in next week, since he did ask for videos. So that was kind of the initial feedback. Keep sending videos, just a few, just to kind of get some refinements. And he went over again, just kind of the basics of my first week of the mesocycle. So starting Monday, I will be kind of going my first non-deload week. So I will be going for less reps in reserve, pushing the weights up, all that good stuff. And then we'll kind of see how things are going and see if I'm recovering well enough and how the volume and the load is, all that kind of good stuff as the week goes on. He went over just a few other specifics of the workouts, which was really, really helpful. So that was great. The other exciting thing is that he said, not only can I do an off-plan meal, obviously a reasonable one, but he is implementing a high day. I have never had a high day. So this has been a good learning experience for me. I know I mentioned that the first couple of low days, I did kind of struggle with like that, not having carbs for my first, until the very last meals of the day. But it's gotten so much easier and I feel really good on those days now. I don't have like the kind of brain fog I dealt with the first couple of times, just as my body has adapted really quickly. Excuse me. And those have been great. So I get a high day. It's my day 4. So my high day will be on Thursday. And basically with a high day, you're trying to really saturate your muscles. So you're trying to do a glycogen saturation, which does mean a lot of carbs. And it's more carbs than I even did when I was loading for my shows. So I'm really excited. I mean, and it's a little bit different too. Like when I was loading for my shows, like we'd kind of raise my carbs and like keep them high, keep them high, keep them high. Whereas this is, it'll be coming off of my low carb day. So I will have 3 of my normal days. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday will all be just my normal macros. Sorry, I can't with the math right now. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday's my low day. Wednesdays and Sundays are my low days. I switched it up this week because I had to for our surgery schedule. I switched my rest day to Thursday. That's why it's like I messed up in my head. Okay, so I will have normal days Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday will be a low day, and then Thursday is my high day. So I'm really excited to see how it goes. So you keep your fat super low and you get a lot more carbs. I do realize too that again, this is why it's so great to have gotten this feedback ahead of time so that I had the weekend to prepare, because eating that many carbs, I need to be able to time them throughout the day and, make it all work. So I'm really excited to see how that goes and to kind of see how my body responds. He did tell me to, expect that I might be up a couple of pounds, just some water retention from, carbs. Sorry if you can hear all these kids screaming in the hallway. They're not my kids. Carbs are going to bring water with them, right? So when you are loading the glycogen into the muscle, it's going to bring in some water as well. So it's normal to be a little bit watery or a little bit up in weight the following day or even a couple of days, but that should normalize, and that we'll just kind of watch it and see how it goes. So I'm excited. I'm a little nervous, but I am really excited. A friend of mine asked me this morning how if I was still kind of dealing with the struggles around gaining weight, and I feel like I'm getting so much better. And part of that is because in addition to that feedback that Aaron provided, one of the things he said was that, we're not going to be so focused on the weight or that we're trying to increase it an X amount or whatever, because really he said he knows the exact look he wants me to achieve. And that's not based on a weight. What that looks like, he knows. And that made me feel so good. I've actually never had a coach say anything like that to me before. And it just gives me so much kind of faith and trust and confidence in Aaron's goal, that he actually understands what he wants me to look like. And we're just going to keep pushing for that regardless. He said, it doesn't even matter, what the weight is. Even if I'm not gaining weight, it's the look we're going for. So kind of continuing, that the body is naturally going to start to, change in composition. There'll be a little more body fat gain, which is what I want, which is what I need. But it made me feel really, like I said, just confident that he has a plan, that he knows what that is, and that we actually have goals that we're working toward. So that was all really, really, really reassuring. So I keep thinking I need to read something, but I don't. So that was all really good. Those are really the main changes. Everything else, he gave me some feedback on the things I said I need to work on this week. He gave me the same advice I would give somebody else, about things like cleaning out the closet. Like, don't let that like clutter become clutter in your mind. I don't tend to be I think he gave me a lot of great feedback on like what to do with like if I'm having trouble sleeping. And my issue right now is not that I'm having trouble sleeping. It's that I'm not sleeping enough. I fall asleep within like 10 minutes of getting into bed. I don't lay there and think about things. I don't like have these perseverating thoughts. When I wake up at 3, it's just because I'm awake. I think it's that cortisol spike that's waking me up. It's not like, oh my gosh, I have to get up and do stuff. So that's not where my struggle is. My struggle is more of a personal one in that I'm just not giving myself enough time to sleep. I'm staying up later than I should be, especially knowing that I have been waking up early. I need to be going to bed earlier, and I just haven't been. So that's the part of it that I need to work on. But I so appreciate his input about make sure I clean up my closet. He did say that, yes, he thought it was probably full of Redcon 1 supplements, which he's not wrong. As you heard in the intro, I bought even more protein powder. So yes, I'm going to stop buying supplements for the time being. No more protein powder for a while, which is good. I don't need it. And that's great too. So very supportive though. He gave me great input and feedback on all of the things I'm personally working on, which I so appreciate that he takes that actual personal care and cares about me as a human, not just as an athlete. Wants me to be a good quality human as well, and is wanting to help me with anything that he can. So that's also very helpful. And that was basically it. So excited for my high day this week. It's going to be really fun. Really excited to feel good and start really pushing it in the gym. Really pushing myself. I still have not found a bigger, better gym, but I am making it work really well with the gym that I have. I mentioned in last week's video that I found a cool and interesting way to do hip thrusts, and I will try and film that this week. I'm going to actually try to be at my, one of the 2 gyms has at a place where I can actually set up for barbell hip thrusters, whereas like my smaller gym does not. So I've been using a cool dumbbell hack, which has worked out really well. So all good things there. I'm making it work. One of the things that struggle still is the timing, and that's just finding that time in my day, especially given all the other things I have going on. Trying to find an extra 2 hours to be in the car every day has been a little bit of a roadblock. I will admit that. And I live in just a weird part of the city where there's a lot of cheesy gyms, like the Purple Gym. I mentioned this before, the Planet, like there's like a Planet Fitness and a really inadequate 24-hour fitness, and the community center, and like there's and the Y or the Jewish center, like there's just not like, there's no good bodybuilding gyms now that my gym closed within a pretty good distance, a pretty good traveling distance of me, which is really strange. But it just is, I guess the population of this part of the city there must not be the demand. So that is what it is at the moment, but still doing some research and hoping that I will find a good fit for a gym that offers everything that I need, so I'm not having to do all these little like workarounds and make it works, because that's not ideal. So, all right. I think that's it for the week. I do appreciate everybody's input and feedback, and thank you for asking the questions about my training plans and wanting to see specific exercises. If there is anything else that you guys want to see, my coach is in the process of moving, but I think once he and I are on more similar time zones, he's moving to the States, which is going to be great. So we're not, a day and a half apart. It'll be a lot easier for us to do a video moving forward about, talking about my training and talking about my plan, all that kind of fun stuff. So if you do have specific questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you have questions about anything, leave them in the comments below. I still, I love talking about food. Leave me your comments. I love it. Hope everybody, wow, that was a drastic change in direction. Thank you for your comments. Let's just leave that there. I hope everybody has fun, whatever fun is for you around the holiday season planned for this week coming up. Like I said, Christmas is on a Wednesday, so if you get a lot of the end of the week off, hopefully you get to go do something fun with your friends, with your family. You get some good presents from Santa if that's your vibe, and that Santa was good to you if you deserved it, which I'm sure you did because you're all awesome. And yeah, ready to kind of just get into this last couple of weeks of the year and then be in 2025. My goodness. Next week, I am going to do the what I got from my coworkers video to show you guys what I got them for Christmas, because I got them cool stuff. I'm also going to talk some more about my plans for 2025 and just kind of the focus, the intention, all that good stuff. So if you have questions about any of that, please let me know. Thank you all so much for being here. You are all incredible. Spread positivity and light and ho-ho holiday happiness to yourself and everyone around you. I am cheesy. I am the world's cheesiest. Yes, I am. I'll admit it. But I do appreciate you all so much for being here. And I hope you all have an amazing week. And I will see you here next time.